Hey, how's it going? So I wanted to talk to you about something that came up this past week. We have our leadership meeting every Monday, and during our leadership meeting, we had a conversation about something that I think a lot of you really need to hear. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Andrew Fraser, founder and CEO of Doggy Zone. So let's dive into this. What is it that came up in our leadership meeting? Well, we talked about how people don't quit companies. People quit leaders. And I know that for some of you, that might be a little bit hard to hear because you're thinking to yourself, no, that last person quit because of X, Y, and Z. And we have all of these reasons that we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better about why it is that somebody chose to leave our company. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to our leadership. Our leadership is what is going to keep somebody in our company or is going to repel them away from us. So let's talk a little bit about how is it that we keep them, because I know we all want to keep our team members for as long as possible. The cost of replacing team members is huge. The time, the stress, all of the frustrations that can come from bringing somebody new into your company. So let's talk about how do we set things up for success from the beginning. Making sure that our values are very clearly illustrated to people from the get-go, and that we make those values part of our conversation with our team members day in and day out is super important for us. So when I'm talking to a team member, I'm always looking for ways that I can bring in our values to the conversation. So if I'm talking to somebody about how it is that they speak to a client or how it is that they convey information to a client, I'm bringing up my core value of how we like to deliver a wow experience for each guest and how to have that conversation while living that value. When we do this, it makes our values the number one priority in our company. And when we make the values our number one priority, it makes it much easier for us to attract the right people that we want to have in our company and repel the ones that maybe are not necessarily a good fit in our company. But at the end of the day, if we want to really do a great job of retaining people in our company, it comes down to how it is that we engage with our team. Making sure that we're not just doing a quarterly performance review. I recently had lunch with a friend and he was talking to me about how he was looking at implementing quarterly performance reviews. And I can share from my experience that these are probably one of the most scary experiences for team members because they don't hear from us all quarter long. And then once a quarter, we want to sit down and talk about their progress or their lack thereof. I would encourage you to stop worrying about a quarterly performance review and start engaging with your team on a regular basis. Pull them aside for 5 minutes. Have a quick conversation with them. Maybe not every single conversation that you have with them is even going to be about the work that they're doing. In fact, I would encourage you to not talk to them about work and talk to them about life and find out what it is that they're doing in life that's good, what are they struggling with, and get to understand why that person is there working with you. Why? Because when you know that, everything that you do to communicate with that team member can help drive them in a way that's going to support them and that's ultimately going to support you and your company. So just remember, it's really up to you what you want that engagement to look like with your team. But if you want to create a team that has a fantastic culture, it's going to come from you standing heavily on your values and making them a key component of your everyday conversation with people. So the most important thing to not forget is how culture starts at the very top of the organization. It starts with you as the business owner or as the manager. So we have to make sure that we are in alignment with our values. We need to make sure that as we are living our life, that we are actually living those same values. We want to make sure that we are demonstrating at the highest level the values that we want our team to also have in their day-to-day routine. By doing that, that is going to transfer to your managers. Your managers are then going to be meeting with their team members and conveying these same things down to those team members as well. So if you have a team of more than 5 people, you probably have some type of supervisor or leader. And it's critically important that that person is developed in a way that is going to be conducive for maintaining the way that you ultimately want your culture to look. So to give you an example of that, if you want to have a culture that is a really fun culture or a fun place to work, then we need to make sure that, number one, that we're having fun ourselves. If you're the person that's never having fun and then telling everybody to go have fun in the environment, it's not going to go well. So it starts with you, and then you need to make sure that the manager or the leader who is actually overseeing the rest of your team also has the same values, that they are a fun person. So think about these values. Think about how is it that you actually embody them, and how is it that you display them. One of the exercises that I did a number of years ago was I took our core values and I made a list of what does it look like to do each of the core values that we have. And we came up with about 5 examples of every core value and how each team member in the company can exhibit that core value in the work that they do. And that gives people a lot of purpose behind the work that they're doing and helps them to remember the importance that this thing that they're doing that they just call work to everybody else is actually part of a much bigger, grander picture. That being said, your homework is, if you don't have clarity on those values, is to go and sit with some of your team members and learn and figure out what are the values that you really appreciate about these people, and tell them. Tell them what they're doing well and share with them how appreciative you are. Those conversations are going to be the ones that have the greatest impact, and they're going to keep people wanting to come back working with you because they know that you care much more than about just the business, but you also care about where it is that they want to go in life and how you are going to help to support them in getting there. So that being said, you've got some work to do. I hope you found that helpful. Have a better than great day.